and welcome to Gardening with Grace. I'm Grace Manzer, horticulture agent in Pasquotank County. Right now, I know we're all thinking about our spring gardens, and it's probably pretty likely the very first plant you're going to plant in your spring garden is tomatoes. So today, I'm going to show you some proper techniques for planting tomatoes. So sometimes you'll get these nice, healthy, fantastic green ones that are short and stocky and really nice. But sometimes all that's available is these long and leggy ones. Now, most of the time when you're going to be shopping, you're going to try to grab these short, stocky ones because they look healthier. But in actuality, these long, leggy ones can sometimes make a better garden. And the reason for that is, if you plant them properly, they are going to have an extensive root system. So I'm going to show you the proper way to do that. So what I've done is I have prepared my holes that I'm going to plant these tomatoes in. So the first hole that I've prepared is actually a trench. It's about 2 to 3 inches deep, and it is the length of the tomato that I'm going to plant. And now I know that this might seem crazy, but I'm just going to lay it down, right down in there like that. And I know what you're thinking, well, the tomato's going off all the way this direction. That's not what I want. And you're right, but that's not how the plant is going to grow. The plant is naturally going to shoot upwards towards the sun, and so it'll turn and grow up. And all of this stem area along the ground is going to form roots, which is how you're going to have an extensive root system with this plant. So I'm just going to go ahead and cover it up in the same way that you would fill in any plant. So now it's laying along the ground, but I'll come back out here in 3-4 days and it will have turned upright and start reaching towards the sun. Now, if you would prefer to have your plant start off upright, I totally understand. And you can also plant your plants really deep as another way to have an extensive root system. Rather than doing the trench, you can just plant them deep down in a hole. And now this hole is incredibly deep. It's the length of my trowel. So if you're able to dig a hole that deep, and water drainage isn't an issue, then you can take your tomato, dig a hole that deep, and stick your tomato all the way down in there, and then it's going to start out upright. Now, both of these methods are fantastic for planting tall, leggy tomatoes. This trench method is great if you don't have the ability to dig down deep, if you have a clay or a clay loam, or this digging deep method is fantastic if you would really like straight rows and would like to be able to lay out exactly where all your tomatoes are going to lay. And then lastly, I'm going to show you the proper way to plant one of these nice, healthy, short, stocky tomatoes. So see, this hole is significantly shallower, not even the length of the blade of my trowel, but the hole is deep enough that it comes up to about the first leaf union. So I'm going to stick my tomato down in there and fill soil in around it. Now, I know what you might be thinking. In my last videos, I talked about how important it is not to plant the plants any deeper in the soil than they are already in their original soil line, in their original containers. Well, tomatoes are the exception, because tomatoes will form the roots all along the stems, so you can plant tomatoes really deep. Thank you so much for watching Gardening with Grace. I hope you learned a thing or two about planting your tomatoes, and I hope to see you next time.